Hello and welcome to week 32 of the Country Garden Crochet Along, and this week we're making the waffle shell stitch. So this is an interesting looking stitch that uses a type of shell to make a waffle type look, and this is going to be one of the rectangle pieces that we're going to attach into the corners. So how do we make it?
So to make this panel, we're going to start with a foundation chain of 21, and I've just marked that stitch after the hook because that's going to be our turning chain and count as our first stitch. So then in the fourth chain from your hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to make a double crochet. Okay, so there's your turning chain, that's your first stitch. And then you're going to make a double crochet in each stitch across. Okay, so this row is just a row double crochet, just so we've got something to make our stitch onto. And once you finish this row, you should have 19 stitches in total, including that turning chain at the start. Okay, so if you have a tendency to chain tight, then you might find it useful to make your foundation chain with the hook a size bigger. So this is quite a nice texture stitch, as we have front post stitches, then we have those nice shell type stitches in between. Oops. Okay, almost at the end. One stitch left, and here we go. Oh, that's double crochet. There we go. So now we're going to turn and chain one. Just grab some more yarn. In your first stitch, you're going to make a single crochet. Mark that stitch, and then you're going to chain two. Skip the next two stitches and then make a single crochet, and chain two again, skip the next two stitches. So that's our pattern for this row. Make your single crochet, chain two, skip two stitches, and then make another single crochet all the way down the row. Oops, 1, 2, there we go. Chain two, skip two, single crochet, chain two, skip two, and then you should single crochet in your last stitch. Okay, so that's row two. Looks nice and quick, this. Right, turn, chain one. So this is the start of row three, and in your first stitch you're going to make a double crochet turning chain, which counts as your first stitch of the row. Okay, so in the chain space here you're going to make 3 double crochet. So you just make those around that chain. 2 and 3. Then around the single crochet you're going to make a front post double crochet. So yarn over and get your hook around the post of that single crochet, pull your yarn round, and then finish as a normal double crochet. Then in the next chain space make 3 double crochet. Okay, so you're working around that chain, and these make up our shells. There's more yarn. 1, 2, then our third one, oops, around that chain. Then around the next single crochet you make another front post double crochet to give it that lovely texture. So you see the front post brings everything forward and pushes those shells slightly backwards, and that's what gives it our textured look. And then once you've done your front post, make 3 double crochet around that chain. 2 and 3. Then front post again, front post double crochet around that single crochet post. Then another 3 double crochet in that chain space. 2 and 3. And another front post double crochet around the single crochet. Oops. Go. Then your 3 double crochet again around that chain. 1, 2 and 3. And then last front post double crochet around that single crochet. Okay, and then 3 double crochet around the chain space. 2 and 3, and then in our last stitch we're just going to make a double crochet. Okay, so that's just in the loops as normal. And there you have your first set of shells and front post stitches. Okay, so now we're going to turn and start row 4. So you turn, then chain 1 and single crochet in the first stitch. Let's get my stitch marker. Now chain 2. You're going to skip the 3 double crochet. Okay, so skip 3 stitches. Into the next stitch, which is your front post double crochet, you're going to make a single crochet. Chain 2 and repeat. So skip the 3 double crochet and then single crochet into the front post stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way across. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet, chain 2, skip the 3, single crochet, chain 2, skip 3, and single crochet, then chain 2, skip 3, and then single crochet in your last stitch, and then turn. So the rest of this panel are repeats of rows 3 and 4. Okay, so row 5 you're repeating row 3
until you reach row 22. I'm going to carry on with that, and I shall come back to you when I get to the end of row 22.
Okay, so I finished row 22, which is one of the single crochet chain rows, and now I'm going to turn and we're going to finish our piece with row 23, which is a row of double crochet. We need to come back down to our starting chain size. So turn, chain 1 and make your double crochet turning chain in the first stitch. Put that in there. Okay, so in each of your chain spaces you'll make 2 double crochet, and in each of the single crochet you'll make 1 double crochet, and that will bring us back to 19 stitches for this row. Okay, so in previous rows when we've done the 3 double crochet, that's been an extra stitch, increasing our stitch count, but we need to come back down to 19 stitches for the row. So you're only going to make 2 double crochet around the chain space. 1 and 2, and then 1 single one double crochet into the single crochet, and then another 2 in the chain space, and we do this all the way across. Get some more yarn into the chain space, and to the single crochet, chain space, 2 double crochet in there, double crochet, two double crochet, and then in the final stitch you'll make a double crochet. And that will be 19 stitches for the row, and that's our stitch count back to normal. So you can see it's got the waffle checked look, but with those shell type bits in between, and that's the waffle shell stitch. So now you can weave in your ends and whip stitch it to your corner panel. Okay, so this one goes between your moss stitch panel and your bobblet panel, and you just whip stitch it on there. So you're going to whip stitch on with, so you have 2 whip stitches in the side of every double crochet row and 1 whip stitch in the side of every single crochet row, and then top and bottom is 1 whip stitch for each stitch. And that is this week complete. So thank you for joining me, and I shall see you next week for the next part. Bye for now.